I'm Jay and that's Mike, and this is going to be Wonder Woman. Let's just get right into it. Fuck it. Wonder Woman was really a man.
Damn it! Can't we have one powerful female superhero movie? They did the Iron Man 3 thing and she had a dick!
And I don't even know how I feel about that because it's still hot. It's still hot. So, yeah, Wonder Woman. So basically what we find out in Themyscira, that she is not necessarily an Amazonian. Like all the other Amazons, it's an island without men and all that stuff, which is a great island. I'm going to visit there at least next year. I'm saving up my pennies.
Much like Barbados.
But it's an island without men. The Amazonians were created by Zeus in a way to kind of soothe mankind's wrath and their anger and their hatred. Because he's like, you know what, I'm going to give you all some hot-ass chicks, and you all got to calm the fuck down. And they didn't calm the fuck down. Because when the hot-ass chicks came, which were the Amazonians, they still got into wars and shit.
We didn't trust each other anymore.
So Ares, the son of Zeus, was like, you know, these are pieces of shit. I want all these women to myself. I'm going to kill it. Now, he didn't really say that. He's like, I'm going to kill out mankind because mankind are disgusting creatures that'll never learn love. And what the big reveal is that when they say that Wonder Woman is not, or Diana is not a Amazonian, is that she's actually part god. She's Zeus's son, so she's a demigod. And Ares is kind of like her half-brother. I don't know. They get all fucked up in their like little, you know, games with their families and who's their uncle. So she gets out in the world, she finds out it's not Ares, it's just mankind's ugliness. And when she does finally, Ares does show up. But it's not Ares that's really doing this. He just said, you know, I pretty much pushed buttons and got them to move here and there, and they did it all on their own.
Which is really the only big spoiler in the movie. I mean, if we're going to talk about that, the bad guy who you think's the bad guy is not the bad guy.
He's like the Sir guy.
Yeah, and she chases him down. She puts the sword of wonder in his face, and then she looks around.
That's what I call my dick. Sword of wonder.
The world is still, you know, fighting in arms, and then all of a sudden you realize that Ares is actually the dude that was on our side, who was helping them, who was funding their expedition, and he's Mr. Ghost Pants. Like, he's on one side of the mirror, then he's on the other side of the mirror. Next thing you know, he's actually Ares, and then the one cool badass villain moment of the entire film is when he transforms into the fucking
That
armor,
was badass.
and he's floating above, and I'm like, now some fun for me.
It's like God of War.
It looked badass, and I was like, when they talked about Ares, that's what I saw in my head. But even that goes downhill the more and more he runs his mouth, because it's this like, you know, scientist dude, and they built him that way so that you wouldn't suspect he's the villain. He's not a scientist, he just looks like...
I know who he is. He's the guy from Harry Potter that was the wolf. Yeah. The Wolfman guy in Harry Potter. That's who he is.
But he's just not actually menacing. So when you see behind... The way he built his armor was badass. The way
he like
cuts
pulls
the
metal.
Yeah, that was badass. Very Magneto-ish, by the way. But the more and more he talks, and the more the camera zooms in on him, it gets more and more cheesy. So still, I wasn't in love with any of the villains in the movie.
To me, I think that where the villains were so one-dimensional and they were just so flat, you couldn't really get behind their you know, there was no motivation. They were just being evil for evil's sake. I mean, there was nothing, like the guy, not Ares, but the guy before him, the one that Wonder Woman thinks is Ares. He's just a dumb shit guy that has a doctor or a chemist that knows how to make new yellow mustard gas to fuck up the good guys. And it's like, I don't know, I think they could have dealt more with philosophy, like who's right and who's wrong. Because in World War I it was a lot different. World War I's sides were a lot different than what, you know, obviously in World War II the Nazis were evil, but in World War I it was like a lot of them, it was just a fuck up. Like, it was just a complete mess.
I love Marvel. I want to make that very clear. I love Marvel. But sometimes when this movie felt like Marvel were the worst parts of the movie, because they did that Captain America First Avenger thing. The period piece stuff, I realized that they have to do that. Yeah. Something about this war, maybe just, I don't know, the people in the soldiers' outfits, they just look like actors wearing the suits. Like, it wasn't very believable. It wasn't dark or gritty enough. Oh God, I shouldn't have said that. Fuck me. It's not dark or gritty. No, actually, that's not what I mean. I just mean like it felt Disney-ish, like the way that they portrayed this war. The whole middle portion of the film dealt with London and the war and him getting his team together, and it was very, very First Avenger. The villains were very, very Red Skull-ish, even though Red Skull's badass. He just needed a better movie. It's very Snyder-ish film, the way the action goes. Like, it looks like a Snyder film, but it's so badass. They do these... They really show off her skills when she's fighting people. They'll slow-mo the camera if they have to. There's a scene where they're in no man's land, and the army hasn't been able to move an inch in weeks or whatever, because they, like, as he says, you've got a machine gun pointed at every square inch of here. She says, "No, I've had fucking enough, Dan!" And she takes off her gown into her hotness, and she just steps out in the field, That was a badass scene.
Yeah, that scene was one of the better scenes in it as far as action sequences go. The beach scene on Themyscira, when some of the Germans break through the lines, following Chris Pine when he crashes onto the island and the Amazonians fight him, was a cool scene. And then, you know, obviously the end scene when she fights Ares, when you find out who Ares actually is, that was a cool scene. Like those action sequences were really good. Ultimately, what happens though is that Chris Pine decides that, you know, after Wonder Woman finds out that Ares is not this evil villain guy that she thought it was, and when she kills him, she thinks everything's going to go back to normal, and men are still killing each other, still loading the bombs up on the airplane to launch at innocent civilians. She realizes that men are just evil, ugly creatures, and you know, Chris Pine is trying to beg her to come with him to stop this plane from getting in the air, and she won't do it. That's when the guy from London, the one that we all think is a good guy, appears as the actual Ares and says that he didn't have to do anything to provoke this in man, that man will always do this, and he wants to basically return the Earth more to a pristine level and use her as a means to do it, with her restore the Earth. And Chris Pine was like, okay, well, fuck it, gal, I guess we're just done. I mean, we had a great sexual moment, and, you know, I'm going to love that for the rest of my life, and I jerk off to it sometimes, but I'm going to get on that plane, and I'm going to be a hero, so fuck you, and do you want to later? Yeah, he goes and sacrifices himself, but before he goes, he does that whole love story moment, and, I mean, that wasn't a bad scene. It just felt like you could see it coming a mile away.
It's crazy that Steve Trevor dies. You know?
Yeah, he does.
Unless there was autopilot.
Hi, Steve.
I fixed the autopilot.
Not from that guy.
Yeah, that was a cool scene. Like all the action stuff, all the stuff when we really dive into the character was really great.
I thought what was unnecessary about it was the three guys that they recruit.
Yeah.
Totally unnecessary. Not even worth the fucking screen time most of the time. And I'm not saying they're bad actors. But it's like...
The one dude was from Trainspotting.
Yeah, he's also from fucking Pearl Harbor, so he's been in a few freaking war movies. But, look, I just think they could have been left out. There's no need for them. They didn't do anything. They didn't contribute anything to the overall story. But it was just... They were the goofy sidekicks that they were trying to throw in. At that point, it was just like, you don't need to do this. Like, I don't even... I'm not, like, not having
His
fun.
secretary, same thing.
Yeah.
It was just like this weird... I don't know. It didn't feel right. Those felt almost like reshoots in a way.
It almost felt like it was just... Well, yeah, it was pigeon... Like, it was kind of like fucking pushed in. Like, they were like, okay, well, the studio said we got to throw in some comedy in here.
I could have seen someone saying, we need a little bit of Marvel in this.
Yeah, that's where that came from. We're not even Marvel, just like... This is getting too dark here. We got to throw in one character that's throwaway that has to say a few funny lines because the crowd can't get into this dark shit.
Yeah.
Come on.
And you added 20 minutes of running time. They didn't need that.
And that's another thing, again, when we talk about Captain America, and before anybody gets pissed off, because, again, we like this movie. This movie is actually a really fucking fun movie, and it's really fun.
But it's not a 97% perfect movie.
But before anybody jumps on our ass and says, well, you're downing this in DC or whatever, we downed Captain America, the First Avenger, as not a very... I think I gave that a 7.5. So, I mean, and that's less of a score than I'm going to give this.
Yeah, they did the fish out of water thing with her a little bit too much. Like a couple of jokes and a couple of would have worked, but they constantly had this running theme of, oh, what would Wonder Woman do if she saw this? Or what would she wear? Or what was this? And it was a little bit too much. What was amazing, though, I think we forgot to mention this a little bit, was the origin story, the way it was built, the Amazonians. That whole thing was so cool, and it was so badass the way they described it.
I mean, to be honest, I didn't know that much about Wonder Woman going in. I knew about her, but I didn't know all of it. So to get that kind of backstory, they do it really well to give you that the initial background, like, okay, I get her character now, I get her motivations and things. I will say that it's still a great, solid movie, and I think anybody that wants to see a great representation of Wonder Woman and what she always should have been is to go check this movie out, especially if you're going to want to go see Justice League and see how all that interacts together. Now, as far as the other Justice League are showing up, the only thing that's mentioned is Bruce Wayne does send a letter to Gal Gadot at the very beginning of the movie, and it's like, you know, sends her the picture that they took.
It's very Stephen Kingish the way it bookends it, because at the end she pulls the picture back out again. I like that a lot. I thought that was pretty cool.
That's the only thing that you see. And other than that, there's no cameos by anybody else. Like, there's one, you mentioned it, you're like, you know, the guy was like, he's like, I'm gonna go get reinforcements. I thought he was gonna go get like fucking Hawkman or some fucking crazy shit. And there's gonna be another superhero flying down to help him out, but no, it's just those weird three guys that, okay. And finally, they get a movie out that everybody seems to enjoy, which I'm happy about. But
for me, honestly, dude, I'd say it falls just a little way short of how good Iron Man was as an origin story. Like that's how I feel about it. It's not quite as good as Iron Man, but it's almost there. Like, dude, the thing is that Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman and the fighting scenes and just the way that she is and how perfect she is for that character really make up for a lot of the problems with it. It's not a perfect movie. It's an 8 out of 10 for me. I liked the shit out of it. I thought it was really well done. I think it might be being overhyped a little bit, but I still loved it. So
yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8 too. And again, it's not about the fact that it's not about DC.
Woman?
No, I mean I wasn't gonna say that.
I was kidding.
It's not about DC versus Marvel at all. I look at it like what it could have been and what I mean, again, we all have opinions, and opinions are like assholes. We all got some, but I just think that it could have been a stronger outing if they had maybe cut off some parts of it and maybe taken out some parts that felt too. Well, I don't want to bring up Marvel again because I don't want people to think that we're trying to say Marvel, you're sprinkling Marvel, ooh, Marvel. Not like that. I just think that Marvel's got their way of telling stories, and I want DC to have their way of telling stories. And I think that a lot of this is a backlash from Suicide Squad and Batman vs Superman, that they added in some of these scenes that just didn't feel right. They just didn't fit with the story. I think that it was a Snyder story with, he had help, but I think it was a Snyder story that he had his vision and he had his idea, and then when the studio found out about, because I think he was already writing this after, or even before Batman vs Superman, that after they found out the backlash with Suicide Squad and stuff, they're like, you've got to change some of this shit because we can't get that backlash again. But, that's my opinion. I don't know. It might not have been like that. Maybe that was always Snyder's thing. But at the end of the day, it's an 8 out of 10, and I think everybody should check it out that likes comic book movies.
And I can't wait to see what Patty Jenkins does further on, because she directed this fucking amazingly. Like, just the way that the action scenes are filmed, the way all that stuff was filmed. I can feel studio involvement in it, but the stuff that she did felt amazing to me.
But I also want people to remember that we're not taking anything from Gal Gadot's performance as Wonder Woman. She's fucking Wonder Woman. Absolutely. And like the movie itself is still solid as fuck.
And I have no qualms with saying that, like, as a woman being the main person, like the main badass that she was, I could totally I was just as into watching her fight scenes as I've been into watching Batman or anybody else. She's fucking killer, man. She's a badass.
Yeah, I loved it. I never cared.
Comment below, let us know what your thoughts are. We love your fucking faces. And if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button and get some goddamn win, baby.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie. We watched it. We watched a movie. Yeah. You know what? We did a review. We watched a movie. We watched a movie.